Dave Berman live on this Monday night, Delco Sports 360.com on cmpradio.net. I'm pumped to have the first year head coach of the Interboro Bucks high school football team, the pride of Rutledge, Wallingford, Swarthmore School District, Pat Fisher. Pat, it seems like I've known you forever. Anyway, great job. Congratulations to you. Also, congratulations. You recently got married. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, she's mad at me for not having the wedding ring on right now. I forgot it when I was doing the dishes. Just got married on Saturday to my lovely now wife, Allie Razzie. I don't know. It was a great day. Went by in a blur.
Pride, and she's a pride of Hatboro Horsham.
Yep, Hatboro Horsham girl.
And no honeymoon. That's
honeymoon is in a couple weeks down in Costa Rica.
Okay, honeymoon tonight, baby. We're going to talk Interboro football. I know you're excited. I'm sure you're a little nervous. You're coming into this program. But first, your history. Again, grew up Wallingford Swarthmore School District. Actually, the first 5 years of your life, you, Ridley area?
Norwood, actually. So
Interboro.
Could have been an Interboro kid.
So there you go. So tell us after that what you did, your mom and dad, all that good stuff.
Yeah, just grew up first 5 years in Norwood. My parents got a place over in Rutledge. Ended up playing a lot of different sports all around Delaware County, honestly. Football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse. From there in Rutledge, I played a lot of different Ridley sports, so I knew a lot of Ridley kids. I knew a lot of Springfield kids. I played at OOPH basketball. I think it's Our Lady of Angels now. Bounce around a lot of different places throughout Delco, and then ended up playing, Strathaven football, basketball, and lacrosse for my entire high school career.
Graduated from Strathaven High School in 2010, the year just before the District 1 championship team. Went to the state tournament and gave Archbishop Wood a very good game. But you mentored a lot of those kids in 2008, 2009.
Oh, yeah. Me, Lonnie Richardson, Shane Kennedy. There weren't a lot of seniors that we had on that team, but the young guys, they really stepped up in a big way. And then I got to see my brother, who was a sophomore on that team, got a district championship. Brent Collins, James, Brian Downs, Gasix, Heisey, McCullough, probably missing a bunch of names on there, but that was a heck of a Strathaven football team there. They really brought back, I think, what it was to be, Strathaven. And I mean, if they want to say I helped mentor them a little bit, I'm happy to, carry that mantle for them, when they went out and did their thing against a really good Archbishop Wood team too.
And you played under the great head coach, Coach Clancy, who's 69 or 70 years young. He could coach another 10 years. He's unbelievable what he's accomplished with that program. Coach Tags, your assistant, just will be inducted into our Delaware County Sports Hall of Fame in the fall.
Yep. Coach Clancy still gives me nightmares. The last few years I've had to coach against him, had to prep against him. The wing tee still looks as good as ever. Coach Tags did all of the yelling for Coach Clancy.
Yeah, baby.
So Coach Clancy never had to worry about yelling. Coach Tags took care of that for all the coaching staff there. But, the offensive line, I don't think there was a better guy for him over at Haven when Tags was coaching them.
As you know, Strathaven, the only Delaware County high school to win a state championship in football. Back in 99 and 2000, I remember it very well because I'm older. You were a little kid running around, but I'm sure you remember all that stuff.
I was at every single one of those games. That was the reason I wanted to play football. 98, they were, I think, semifinals, right?
98, 96. It really started 96. They couldn't get by Berwick, 96, 97. I was in Virginia, but I was following the program because I graduated from the offspring of Strathaven, Nether Providence High School, 1976, and Coach Tags was coaching then. And then 96 couldn't, Berwick, 97 Berwick in a heartbreaker, 98 beat Berwick, but couldn't get a heartbreaker at Allentown Central Catholic, who eventually won the state. Then 99 they got through with Mark Jones.
Yep.
And others.
And 4 years in a row there, Mike Connor, Dan was a freshman, I think, on the one state championship team.
2000,
Peck, actually one of the fathers over at Imhotep. Now I'm blanking on their names.
Buck Moore.
Yep. Buck Moore, Brian Moore's dad, safety on that team, I believe. We were talking to him about getting Brian a state championship with Imhotep this past year, so he has a ring to match his dad's.
And so does Jordan?
Yep, Jordan as well. There were some great teams. It's really why I wanted to play football. We were over, during the blowout games, we were over playing rumble fumble over on the side where you learn how to tackle, run, do all of that. And the close ones, getting to travel up to all of those state championship games was, I didn't even know I wanted to play football until I got to see that team play, because I think by the end of it, they were top 25 in the nation. I think at one point they got ranked there. So
it was an incredible run.
They were a great football team with a lot of great guys there.
All right, Pat Fisher, Strathaven grad 2010. Can you believe it's 14 years since you graduated? Now, your sister, I announced Strathaven boys basketball, public address, and did some girls games. Your sister, I didn't get a chance to talk to her. She's an assistant coach, and I forget which high school.
Pencrest.
There's under Coach Johnson. Okay. Yep. Very nice. She waved at me.
Played for her on the AAU team too.
There you go. So you went to college. Obviously, you played at Pitt. Tell us about that experience after you graduated 2010.
I was a walk-on there. Had some different offers on the table. D3, D2. Went to the University of Pittsburgh, and I fell in love with the city. It was kind of just a dream of mine, honestly. Did I want to go and try to play D1 football? I saw Pitt as an opportunity to both walk on and be at a school in a city that I loved. I saw kind of a brand new world out there. I walked on, made it the freshman year. Dave Wanstad got fired before I could start in the winter.
So
So then I had to try out again.
Who replaced him?
I think it was Haywood for about 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
Then he was let go. And then Todd Graham came in, and then Graham left after a year. I was on the team at that point already, so I tried out 2 or 3 times. Really pulled the whole Rudy thing in real life. 2 or 3 times, and then Paul Chris was my coach right up until I finished up there at Pitt.
What year did you graduate from Pitt?
2014, and then I got my master's there in 15.
All right, did you turn into a Pittsburgh sports fan?
God, no.
Oh, okay. I can't tell by. All right, okay. I didn't know because I follow you on Facebook a little bit, but I can't read.
I am a Pitt fan through and through.
Ah, maybe that's what I saw.
Anything Pitt related, I will cheer for.
So you're not a big Penn State fan?
Absolutely not.
Okay, a lot of.
Don't tell my entire dad's side of the family that, even though they already know.
But they got to get over the hump. Pitt's got to get where Penn State is, but Penn State needs to get to a national champion, win a championship.
Pitt has an ACC championship, Dave.
There you go.
In the last couple of years.
So I love it. I love it.
One of the schools in PA has a conference championship. The other does not.
And that's some unbelievable high school football out there.
Oh, yes.
And that a team
caught
that gave
plenty of those teams.
Yeah, and our teams in District 1 struggle against you guys in the state semis, Imhotep. And then you have the teams from Pittsburgh, they beat them. Even St. Joe's Prep lost a couple of games.
Yep.
To the WPIAL, they call it. What's the difference? Maybe we talked about it in the press box last year. Those kids to our kids, Strathaven kids to Penn Trafford, and what is the difference?
I honestly...
Are our kids mentally? Is it because we live too close to the Imhoteps?
The Whippeal, as they like to call themselves, District 7,
right.
As I like to remind everybody that they are, just because I enjoy that interstate rivalry. No, they got some really big dudes out there, man. They got some strong kids. They got really good athletes all over the place in Pittsburgh, all over that area. And some of our kids think, they're growing up playing football. Those Pittsburgh kids are growing up probably playing the exact brand of football from where they live all the way up until their high school years, where
Correct.
A lot of kids in our area, maybe the minor differences is they might only see the offense they're running by maybe middle school. I'm willing to bet a lot of those kids are probably running a lot of the same stuff all the way through their, pee-wee football all the way up until they get into, the Pine Richlands, the Penn Traffords,
right.
all of those places.
And this year you finally got through. Chester Strathaven was an unbelievable District 1 championship game. It could have gone either way. Strathaven got the W. Then I was also PA announcer that game, and then at Coatesville for your game with Imhotep. You had a touchdown called back by James Fisher, but you guys, Strathaven couldn't stop you guys. It was amazing. Well, you guys were a lot of seniors on that team, but you had a freshman wide receivers, unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I mean we had a few really good freshmen, and then it was that senior class. And you ever get a chance to talk to Dev Johnson, who's the head coach over there? He kind of knew it and called it from their freshman year. Those kids coming in and kind of what it takes to win that state championship was, I think, in those 4 years, those kids started to understand everything they had to do just outside of football to get to that level. Like the amount of extra work that I know that the DBs put in with our DB coach over there, Nam Muhammad, who runs personal training stuff like all around the city. In my humble opinion, the best defensive back coach I've ever worked with. The way he trains guys in the off season, in season, we'd finish practices and he'd have workouts that our DBs would go to.
And you don't even have really good facilities.
I mean, we did what we needed to do in the place that we were at Lonnie Young, and a lot of the times you say that builds culture. We went down, we'd paint the fields ourselves, we'd make sure that the hashes are there. Yeah, there's rocks and bottles everywhere.
Where's it at? Where's it at again?
Lonnie Young. It's uptown, right about 2 blocks away from the school at Imhotep.
Okay.
It's a little just rec center.
Yeah, you don't have your home field either. All you the
no,
Philadelphia.
We played at the South. We played at the Germantown Super Site.
Germantown Super Site.
Yep.
So
and then Bruce Carson, I said the other one, the defensive line coach, who also does a lot of that training, near and dear to my heart, Ja, who is going to Pitt, defensive player of the year here in Pennsylvania.
Yes, stud.
Like I said, so there's
I forget his last name now.
Ja. Whittington.
Whittington, yeah, because one of the girls I worked with at the warehouse, he is good friends with his father, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Oh, no, they're all great guys, and I mean the amount of work that they put in these last 4 years to get as good as they did made my job that much easier.
So Imhotep is now 6A. How are they going to match up with when they play St. Joe's Prep?
They're going to be just fine.
They're going to probably play them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be the way that Imhotep used to have to play the Archbishop Woods of the world back in 2015 when they won the state championship. You're going to get those same battles with St. Joe's Prep.
There you go.
Because that's just going to it's going to raise the level in the city of Philadelphia tenfold of where the competition is and where you want to go to play football.
But hopefully our District 1 champ can get through in 5A and 6A, but it's going to be tough. But we'll start that. So how did you get the job at Interboro? First, who's replacing you at Imhotep, defensive coordinator?
Keyshawn Hall. He was he was a linebacker coach, defensive assistant with me.
All right.
I believe he's taken over as the defensive coordinator over there.
So now you're at Interboro, small town, great sports football history, especially with Steve Lennox, not Lennox. Lennox, my man. Since 1978, 16 Del Val regular season championships for Interboro. They had a period, 1998 to 2009. They won 12 in a row. So how'd you get the gig with the Interboro Bucks?
Honestly, I saw the job open up. Kevin Haney, who I'm sure you...
Gigantor. He's back coaching for Strathaven, assistant basketball. I love the guy.
He actually reached out to me and said, you got to go for this. And I talked to Devin Johnson as well because he had been kind of encouraging me along the head coaching realm. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to go and dive into that all the way. I had ideas about it. I put stuff together, like packets and just prep work if I wanted to go and interview. This one opened up, and I knew the history behind Interboro. My cousins went there. I had a couple cousins go there. I knew they were really good when I was going to high school. Del Val championships, like you said, just 12 in a row there. I knew the history of what I used to say Lennox, and then Den taking over as well. I saw just a great opportunity in where I lived, where I worked, to really take a chance at a head coaching job that I think has really the foundation to be one of the best ones in Delaware County.
Passionate fan base, as you saw a couple of years ago. Abu Kamar, Matt Gallinal had Matt on our show. I think he's still a Delaware, walked on. And we had Denny Lux a couple of years ago on the show. I can't believe it was 2 years already. So he did a tremendous job. 4 years, Dennis Lux at Interboro. So there you go. Now you're in. Can you mention who your coaching staff is? Can you mention the coaching staff? Or are you still working on that?
Pretty much all put together. Let me make sure I don't miss any. So my offensive.
I'm sorry for putting you in the spot there.
No. My offensive coordinator is going to be Ed McCabe. He's coming over. He was the head coach at Belmont for a number of years.
Belmont Charter.
Yep.
Philly.
So he had some experience. He actually worked with Keyshawn Hall, who was my defensive assistant. So that's actually how I, knew him a little bit and got a hold of him. Bringing back Mark Burrell, who was a offensive line coach at Interboro a little bit ago, took a step away, decided he wanted to come back. Brett McLaughlin, thank God for Brett. He stayed on from the past staff with Den. He was the only one who stayed. Energetic, 23, young guy. Couldn't be more excited to have him.
Great. Yeah, 23.
He's an Interboro alum as well. John Freilinger, who is coming over from O'Hara, will be taking over the defensive line. Brady Hummel and Jason Mixkett, two Interboro guys as well. Brady's still in college. He was actually working last year. And Jason, who was an Interboro alum, I actually worked with when he was a GA at Widener, when I was at Widener for a year. They're both going to be assistants on the team as well. And then I got my man, NG. I'm not going to try to butcher his last name. Dean, West Point graduate, just finished up his service overseas, came back. I don't even know how we got as lucky to get him. He played at West Point for 4 years. So I went from one great defensive backs coach to bringing in a brand new guy who hasn't done it before, but I can see, the willingness to really grind and become one of the better coaches that I got a chance to work with. He's been working really close with me on the defensive side of the ball. So got a good staff, 7 guys. Still kind of looking to maybe add on one more or two wherever I can. And they've been nothing but 100% all in. I could not have asked for a better group of men to work with. I've tried to put together schedules. They've been at workouts that had never happened before. At Interboro, have them there all throughout the week. I'm going away for my honeymoon in a couple weeks, and I said, you guys can have the week off. They said, nope. We're gonna keep practicing that week. And I said, if you guys are down for it, it's all you, and I'll give you the stuff and go ahead. So great group of guys, a little bit of old, a little bit of new, which was kind of my intention. I wanted to keep some of that Interboro passion and just alma mater around. And I wanted to bring in kind of a new, fresh flavor that hasn't, necessarily been there at Interboro for arguably 30 or 40 years now. So,
have you talked to Steve Lennox, who's still assistant coach at Springfield, Delco?
I have not got to talk to Steve yet. I reached out to Den. I talked with Den for a little bit. He's helped me out, gave me some numbers of some college coaches. I was talking with him about some of the social media stuff. So Den's been helpful anytime I've needed him. I didn't want to bother him. I know he's got he's got the little girl and I think another one on the way or something like that. So he's been helpful where he can be. But it's been a great experience so far. Just been putting in a lot of work to kind of just really update, I'd say, the program and really bring it into, modern day 21st century football where getting new equipment, bringing in a new offense, and really trying to get the kids excited about, you know, this upcoming year.
Booster club, advertising.
Oh, yeah. Working on that. Raised some money already. We'll have some other stuff going on. Probably down at Hags on McDade, 39 North at McDade are both really great Interboro supporters. So
Paul Kennedy.
Yep, we're going to be reaching out to all of them, getting the booster club really going. I'm trying to expand that a little bit too. Mm-hmm. Normally it's just a couple of parents. I kind of want a full booster club because I think that might ease the transition of what a lot of parents have to deal with in that situation. So there's a lot of work being done. A lot of things now that I did get married and the wedding's finally done. I'll have some time to sit down and try to organize some stuff from the boosters to the termites, Prospect Park, getting them involved.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's one of my big focuses is making sure that the Prospect Park termites are essentially an extension of the Interboro football program. So I'll be sitting down with them soon. We'll be having Prospect Park, you know, like the young guys nights, the 7th and 8th graders, they'll have a football night over at the Interboro games. So we're going to be putting a lot of stuff together, really trying to get this community 100% behind Interboro football.
You get your kids from Glen Olden, Norwood, what other borough?
Tinicum,
okay,
and Prospect Park.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, those 4.
All right, you're 4-7 last year, but you guys, you almost beat Ridley in I watched that game, and I predicted you guys to win that game on the Delco Sports forum. Did not make the Ridley guys happy about that, and there was a close game, and then they pulled away.
Yeah.
And you probably have been studying some of the film, so I heard about that. Hey, Berman, we just, you know, whatever. I'm off the board this year. We're still having the Delco forum. Coach Ferry, Coach LaFennis Terry doing that stuff. But, yeah, just, you know, you make predictions, you're going to tick some people off, you're going to make some people happy. So the 4-7, tell us what you have back.
Honestly, we lost a couple seniors who I've briefly met so far. Like I said, it's been kind of a whirlwind. I didn't get in there until, like, late March, April. So I've spent the last 2 or 3 months really just trying to put together that staff I was just telling you about, which takes a little bit of time, and then really implementing my off-season program and getting a brand new offense and defense installed. But coming back, honestly, we're going to be a very young team with a couple of like really solid senior leaders. Josh Lloyd, who was a hand-down defensive end, has been working at our Sam linebacker, one of the more important parts. Great athlete. Honestly, I don't know how he hasn't got a couple of offers or looks, at least from the D2 schools around here. You know, the Westchesters and all of them, about 6'1", 6'2", 205, 210. We'll be moving him out of that kind of inline tight end spot and kind of utilizing him in a lot of different spots. Mikey McLaughlin is going to be our returning quarterback. So we have him, albeit in a brand new system. He is picking up the offense quicker than we thought was going to happen, which has been great. We've already got the Penn State 7-on-7. We had a solid day out there, a lot of stuff that we got to learn from.
Penn State, I think Imhotep was in that, or was that Roman?
Yeah, no, Imhotep was there.
Okay.
Roman was at the one before.
Did you go against him?
We did not get a chance to play Imhotep. When we got to the playoffs, we lost to a Delaware All-Star team, I believe. I can't remember the name of them, but we got some good work out there. It was the first time that those kids got to see, I think, like what was really out there, which is why I wanted to bring them out there and why we're doing some more of these. We're going down to the Air It Out 7-on-7 with them. We have the Eagles 11 on, so their 7-on-7 thing we're actually got invited to.
Cool.
So I got a lot of things prepped for them. So Mikey, Josh, and Amp Barr, who's coming off an ACL injury. Amp Barr is going to be just kind of a spark plug. Just plug him in wherever you need him. Wide receiver, free safety, strong safety, running back. He might only weigh 160 pounds, but is not afraid of anything. Mamadou Rogers, who ended up finishing at the running back position as a freshman, had almost 1,000 yards while missing the first 4 games.
That's the kid I was thinking about.
Mamadou is going to be a really solid piece for us in the backfield. Also, doing some DB stuff, but we really want to focus on him and utilizing him in space, because I look at it as, here's a guy who rushed for almost 900 yards, missing 4 games, and they knew they were running the ball every single time.
He is only a sophomore.
He's going to be
into a sophomore year.
Yeah.
And
Mamadou Rogers.
Mamadou Rogers.
Yep.
Well, you played Chester this year, obviously. At Interboro or at
Chester? It's at Interboro this year.
Okay, because, well, darn it. Okay. You have Bill, your TV guy's unbelievable. The Interboro Buck Sports Network, Football Network, with Bill Soroka, deep Chester roots, as Bill's grandfather won a state championship track and field for Chester back in the day. Here you go. And Bill was surprised I sent him all the archives on that. He is a passionate dude. He tells it like it is, though.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets on you coaches a little bit, too. That's okay?
That's fine. I've been coaching now for 10 years, and trust me, I have heard it all from seasons where I didn't win a game and state championship losses. I have heard the best and the worst of either my or my fellow colleagues' coaching abilities and what we were doing and what our decision-making was. It just honestly comes with the territory there. But aside from Mamadou, I'm really excited about the offensive line. There's not a whole lot of them, but they went 3-1 in their competitions up at Penn State, which was the biggest surprise I thought I had. Drew Frescon, Will Estrada are going to be 2 seniors who, from the day I got in there, have just worked. I've watched them get stronger, put on weight. I mean, I'm watching numbers. We're actually maxing this week again. I'm watching numbers move, 20, 30, 50 pounds in difference in a matter of 2 months.
Incredible.
How hard they've been working. And
how deep are you? How many kids you think you'll get out? I've seen some Interboro teams last couple of years, maybe 30, 40 kids. You're going to have more than that?
I'm hoping that we're going to be able, with some of the young guys coming in, be able to put, 45 out there, maybe 50 if we can keep some of the young guys in and keep them coming into the school. Offensive line, like I said, it's not the biggest group, but we will be the most well-conditioned group out of them, because I got Greg Ferrari, who was an all-Delco wrestler.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah,
so Greg's in there. A couple of sophomores that are coming up, Aiden and Bobby, who are going to be really good. Ernie, senior, coming in. There's a lot of good talent and a lot of kids who, like I said, put in that workout program, and they've taken it as seriously as I've seen any other kids take it. So I'm very excited about that.
Pat Fisher, first-year head coach of the Interboro Bucks, Strathaven grad, 2010. Let's talk about your defense on the Bucks this year.
Defensively, a lot of the guys that you just heard there.
A lot of two-way guys. I'm Megan, you're only a 4A school.
We're a 4A school, but we're working on trying to figure out the best way that we can kind of make sure that not everybody has to go 2 ways, or when we do it, we can kind of platoon it a little bit. The defensive line, we're trying to work in, 6 or 7 of mainly those same guys that you just heard there, that I was just talking about there. Franco, who didn't play last year, he wrestles for the Puerto Rican team. He's going down to the Dominican Republic to actually wrestle for their national team. Down there will be, we're looking at him at Mike linebacker, JJ at a possible linebacker spot. Josh, like I said, Josh will be a 2-way guy. They can't really hide him. We need him to be able to play the Sam and our, that H-back Y hybrid. Corners, I think we got a couple of young guys. Roman and Abisol. I think it's McCrary and Abisol. I'm going to mess up his last name.
That's okay. I just want to say, it's an opportunity. Yeah. A lot of maybe your younger guys are going to watch us.
Yep.
that there's kids an opportunity to get some minutes in there because you want to get some guys rest.
Yeah.
So you want to try to be as deep as you can.
And we're figuring that out now. We got a senior working at free safety, 2 corners, like I said, who are both going to be sophomores this upcoming year. Right now working there. Mamadou's kind of working in the mix, where we need him. Like I said, we don't want to spend all of his legs the way we want to utilize him on offense. Josh, as a senior, doesn't get that luxury. And then we got a couple guys in Ant Bar and J.J. Nelson who have ACL injuries, but we're excited to get them back, hopefully by August, who will be 2 senior guys who I think can, really help us out in depth at wide receiver and in the defensive backfield too.
You guys had a good kicker a couple of years ago. How's your kicking and punting game looking?
It looks pretty solid. We got 2 guys there, Dempsey and Antonio. Both of them, soccer players who want to play football. So I got to work on the punting stuff with them a little bit. Mm-hmm. That is one thing that I did do at Imhotep. I was like the honorary kicking coach there because I knew how to do it. But kicking wise, it looks like they both got pretty solid legs, and we'll be safe in terms of extra points and everything else like that. Which that was a big thing my past year of coaching. That we had Kenny Woosley kicking the ball. I think he only missed 1 extra point in the entire year.
He's going
and he's going to Penn State. He had a field goal in the state championship.
Yeah.
So having a solid kicker and a guy who just works on kicking is a coaching blessing in high school football, because as long as we're putting in that 90-95% of the time, I'm a happy coach.
And you're obviously have some studs in the program and try to keep them away from the private schools, the Catholic League schools, if you can, because they're around, as it's very well documented.
No, that's kind of part of what I was talking about earlier. We're going to bring kind of the termites into the fold of everything that we do. We want all of the Pee Wee football, programs on the same page, working up to us. I'll be down at those games. We're going to have, Friday nights for those kids to come down. They'll be in their own little spot in the bleachers or hanging out in the end zone, getting to watch the game from there. A lot of things are planned there. We are currently, I believe, in the works, as soon as the high school is done, a brand new facility is going in. Turf, the entire South Ave complex is going to be turf and redone, brand new bleachers, stands, locker room, snack stand. The field is going to be high school field brought into the 21st century. The weight room brought into the 21st century. Really everything that, kids are like looking for these days. Interboro is working to make sure that's in place within the next couple of years.
So you have Chichester, their field might be done by the Tony Apicella Stadium. Penwood's facility is unbelievable.
That one's a great facility.
Unbelievable. What kind of style are you going to play? Can you?
I don't even know if that one.
Interboro's usually very like a Strathaven style. I thought over the years watching them. I mean, they had Abu for 2.
It was. It was that
Smash Mouth, but you can't let the
not giving a whole lot away. I'm sure people will see it eventually, but it's going to be a brand new offense. The running game will hopefully exist in the same capacity, but it's going to be done in a different style. We'll be a little bit more spread out. We'll still have different kind of power run sets and everything like that, but what we're going to see probably is a lot more 11 and 10 personnel, that kind of mix out there, where we're trying to, make the defense cover us down and give Mamadou, Ampar, any of the other running backs more space to run the ball.
Could he be like Abu Kamara?
I do think so, yes.
Oh, scary. And because he's playing a lot as this year.
I mean, he's only going to be a sophomore. The way he's in the weight room already as well. His dedication to getting better, listening, being coachable. He's going to be somebody, like I said, I put it out to the PA News thing on Twitter.
PA Football News.
Yep. I said
well, they have Eastern PA Football News and they have Billy Splain's PA Football News.
I said that's a kid that a lot of these, D2 and D1 schools, 1AA, FCS should be looking at him right now because I think there's a lot of talent there. Like I said, I think I got a couple kids who haven't necessarily been recruited yet, but you're going to see them utilized in a way that's going to kind of really let them shine in their athletic ability.
Hopefully Chris Thomas will come back. He was one of the greatest at Interboro a few years ago. Went to Kutztown, right? Had an unbelievable career. Abu, you said, came in talking to the guys.
Abu came by, talked to him already. Said anytime I need him for a camp or anything like that, he'd come right down. One of the best kids I've ever met, and I only got to meet him once so far.
Yeah, we honored him at our Delco Hall of Fame, too. He won an award. Absolutely spectacular. So, all right, when's your scrimmage? Who do you scrimmage? And that's like a week before the regular season, right?
We have I
can't believe it's going to be Perk Valley.
Yeah, I think it's Perk Valley.
Chester plays. They're loaded. They're 6A team. But hey, you might as well
get used to it because that's all we play is 5A and 6A schools.
Exactly. So. And you get to the district tournament, 4A, you never know. Then your first regular season game is against Coach Clancy, your mentor, a guy you looked up to, obviously. That's hard to believe. Where's the game going to be?
That one's at Interboro this year.
Okay, so you're going to see a lot of friends in that when you had to play against Coach the last, 3-4 years in the state semifinals.
Yep.
He had to go up against him.
2 out of the last 3 years we went against them.
Then you beat him up pretty good. And then now you have to play him. So what are your thoughts going into that game? I know it's going to be here before you know it. It's late June already.
Well, I know they graduated a few kids, so hopefully a lot of them don't remember me.
You got Shane Green back. Vince.
Shane and James, I know, are back. Yeah,
James Fisher, Shane Green. They need an offensive line.
The defensive end is back too, right?
Vince.
One of them.
Yeah. Why am I blank on his name? Vince. And then Jai Curtis, who came on strong last year. They have him back. And, we'll have to wait and see.
No, yeah. I mean, that's.
Have you talked to Clancy?
I have not got a chance to talk to Clancy yet. I actually do want to reach out to them in terms of how they run their they just had their Haven youth camp. I want to, talk to them, how they run it, because I want to get that kind of stuff started again at Interboro. It's been a couple years since we've had, the Little Bucks football camp, so I'm trying to bring that back into the fray as well. So I'm going to go at some point, hopefully this summer, talk with, Coach Clancy, Mike, Bubba. I'll go and try to get a hold of them and just see how they run that kind of stuff. I mean, they know that I know that offense in and out. I mean, I was the scout team quarterback for the Imhotep practices because I knew how the quarterbacks turned. I knew which way they went. I mean,
you shut them down pretty good those 2 times you met them. How did you do it?
I mean, that at the end of the day,
that's such a complicated offense.
It's a matter of very, very disciplined football players, which is one of the things, that we're working on right now with all of our kids at Interboro, and getting them to play the defense that I'm bringing in involves a lot of discipline, which is what we got from those senior leadership at Imhotep that past year, where you get the crisscrosses, you got to read your guards, you got to squeeze down, you got to make sure everything stays inside and that you take on blocks correctly. Otherwise, Haven is just going to do what they do to a lot of teams, which is wash them down, wear you down, and then win a game 21-7 because you didn't get to touch the ball because they went on 10-play drives.
And I saw it against 11-minute drive in the District 1 championship game.
So it's just a matter of discipline.
Some people say it's boring football.
You can call it boring football all you want. It's been in football since the 1950s, and it's still here.
Exactly, the wing tee-ish, the wishbone type thing.
It's the wing tee.
Yeah.
Coach Clancy's won 2 state championships, gone to 4, has gone to multiple state semifinals. Go out to Southern Columbia. That's what they run.
Yeah, right.
Southern Columbia has won how many state championships running the wing tee?
16.
There you
think
go.
At least 16.
They have their own documentary out there, for God's sakes.
Yep.
I mean, it's a simple but complicated offense that you need to be the most disciplined team on the field. As soon as you are not, you are going to get run over or you're going to mess something up.
Right. Imhotep, you guys had so many athletes. You could
There
play
was
a little
that-
run and gun,
we
too.
had a lot of talent offensively.
Who's a freshman for you guys?
Leak. No, Leak was oh God.
Had a short name.
I know,
Number 18, I could have.
He had a big game against Haven, right?
Oh, yeah. He was just, I say, this guy's Division I already.
Yeah, he was.
You know?
He got offered, I think, after that game.
Oh, he did? Oh, man, that was a state semifinal. All right, then, so you open up against Strathaven, and what other non-league games do you have that you know of? I know you
We go Strathaven, Ruston.
Oh, you got the Chase Hatton.
Plymouth White Marsh.
They're tough, yeah.
So we got the District 1 gauntlet of playoff football
5A teams, yeah.
And 6A with Plymouth.
I think
Are they 5A?
They were 5A.
They were 5A this year. They
knocked
went
out
down,
Chester
too.
a couple years
You're
ago,
right.
5A.
And then we got Archbishop Carroll and I think Pottstown.
Okay. All right. Well, one game at a time.
Yeah.
But I am going to let's size up the Del Val. You're the first coach I talked to. I'm going to have Coach Shaw in from Chester, obviously. Size up the Del Val. Chester, preseason, number 1, absolutely loaded. And what have you seen and what do you know about the Del Val besides, well, tell us what you think about Chester and the rest of the teams. You got the Penwood, and you got some athletes. Academy Park, Coach Wojcicki, legend. You got the Chichester. They're doing a great job also.
So this is my first kind of welcome back into Delco football in a long time, right? I mean, I've been watching and dealing with a lot of city schools and schools from all, Maryland, all around the country. So coming back here into the Del Val, I mean, I worked with Coach Vo for a year before I got into a different job at Carroll. So I know what's over there at AP. It is ridiculously fast athletes.
I heard Jabri Coleman Wallace could have been an Academy Park kid.
I think he could have been. I think he has a parent or somebody living in Philadelphia, and he was a Darby Township Eagle. Yeah,
that's what Coach Wojcicki said. By the way.
But Vo's not at a loss for running backs over there too. I mean, they got 3 out of 4 kids who were nationally ranked in the 4x1. Who won major competitions who are going to be on that football team. So I know for a fact KJ over there, the court. I mean, there's talent over there that's ready to go and play. Chester, obviously, the young quarterback. The kid can.
Jalen Harris, only a junior.
Yeah,
Duran, his brother.
The wide receiver. I mean, he can sling the ball everywhere.
There's only one Mark Jones, but I'm telling you what, this kid has the potential to be in that level. Duran Harris, and some people thought he should have been MVP. Delco times most valuable player, but anyway, and there are just so many guys I have coming back. I mean, it's just so many, and their defense was unbelievable.
I mean, that's a matter of with Chester, it's a matter of can you keep them in front. You're probably not going to out-athlete those guys. They will be faster. They'll probably be a bigger football team. And that's just a matter of what we're trying to implement, which is where can we steal yards? Can we be the more disciplined football team there? Because aside from that Haven game, I watched some Chester games. That team has grown up. They are talented. Coach Shaw has done a great job with them. I coached against them. They listen. They are disciplined.
Yeah, you scrimmaged them.
Yeah, we scrimmaged. I mean, they had a couple hiccups against that Haven team, but that's not who they are, and I know that's not. So we still need to be a more disciplined team than them, and I know how good and disciplined they already are. So that's a matter of our coaching staff making sure that our kids are doing every little thing right, and then hoping that our game plan is good enough to go against the athletes that they have there. I have some things in mind. I'm going to keep those to myself. I don't need Coach Shaw coming in here and knowing anything that I want to have planned for him. But
by the way, everything's archived on YouTube, though. But this is good. This is great publicity for you guys.
I'm not gonna give him any ammo off of that one.
Right.
But like I said, we got a new offense that hopefully can keep up with a team like that. We're not going to be as bogged down, I think, offensively. I think we'll be able to move up and down the football field a little bit as well, utilize some of our speed on the offensive line. And then, I know our kids will be ready to go. So that's just a matter of, can we be the better team that day? The Penwoods and Chichester, I'm not going to lie, I don't know as much about them yet. I haven't got to go through a lot of their stuff. Penwood, Coach Lincoln had a team over there before he was over with me at Imhotep with Coach Williams. I mean, that team could fly. They have kids all around that area. So I know that'll be a good team. And I know Chichester, I think they got Interboro last year, right?
Yeah, it was
a close game.
A lot of close games in Del Val last year, yeah. It'll be interesting. Having these upgraded new facilities, like Chichester upgraded.
I'd say that's the exciting part for the Del Val right now, where I was a part of it in Philadelphia, and the Del Val was a part of it during that entire COVID year. We were the only ones who were shut down. So we had to run our own spring games, our own spring practices. But, AP, where I was teaching at, their resurgence, Chester's resurgence, Interboro putting, money into a new facility, Chichester getting a new facility, getting the Del Val ramped up into that area is where they should be because it's great football. And it deserves to have as much recognition as the rest of District 1 does at any given time. And I feel like sometimes in the last few years, they haven't always got that. So I'm excited for the new changes around the area.
Central League football, what do you think? Garnet Valley's going to be tough. I heard they're dropping down to 5A, which is hard to believe. You got Strathaven's going to be right there, and you got
that's just going to be a mix
Marple, Newtown.
Marple, you're going to get a mix of different offenses out there. You're running wing T, triple option, or you're running the straight up spread offense that Marple and Springfield where they just throw the ball around. So you got to Haverford normally has a kid like that can throw the ball for a couple thousand yards too. What
about your neighbor Ridley? Did not have the greatest year last year, and a lot of pressure on Coach.
From what I've heard, I know a couple of coaches over there. I think they're excited about some of the kids they had coming up. I know, they're Ridley kids. They're always going to be ready for a fight no matter what. That was one thing. I grew up and went to Strathaven, but I grew up playing a lot of Ridley ABA and stuff around there. Like, they're always going to fight tooth and nail, which is the same thing I always said about when I came to Interboro, that I know I'm going to have kids who will compete until the end. So I can't imagine that they'll be as down as they were last year. Obviously, that Thanksgiving game is always on people's minds. It's my personal goal for my team to not be playing in that game.
Exactly. I know.
So I know people have said to me, well, you got to get Ridley. Yeah. It's my goal to be playing a different game that day. And that's my goal for the Bucks for the next however 10, 15, 20 years that I'm coaching.
So you'll have two games in, hypothetically, I think there's 5 or 6 teams in 4.
I think the top 4 make
4.
it. You get
top
5 or
4.
6.
You're going to have Shanahan in there,
Yep.
and they're tough as heck. And you have Pope John Paul, who you guys beat up a couple of years ago. Then after that, you guys gave Bonner a pretty good.
Yep.
And then they just wore you guys out. I think, and then the Thanksgiving game, Abu got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so Ridley. Back to Springfield, Delco. I know they're going to be tough, man.
Yeah, they were good.
They were that close to playing Chester in the district championship last year.
I was watching. I had to go and scout all of those games. So I was. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of talent out there too. Thankfully, most of those schools are 5A, so I won't, have to deal with a lot of them unless we get them on the schedule at some point. But I know that Springfield team, the way they run and gun, they're going to be in a game with pretty much anybody because they'll score with anybody.
It's going to be so cool for you. So cool going up against, I mean, it's a whole different thing now. You're going to be a head coach of this Interboro team with a history that goes way back 60 years. And I know you're going to be going against a lot of your buddies.
Yeah, it'll be a very, very, very surreal kind of, atmosphere. I feel like going in there, go and talk with Coach Clancy before the game, Coach Vo, Coach Hollingsworth over at Ridley.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these guys, I've known for the last 10 years. I've just been in a different part of football, which was Philly football, and Delco football, which for whatever reason doesn't overlap as much as it probably should. But
correct. Basketball does, yeah.
Basketball plenty, but no, it'll be a surreal kind of opportunity and just exciting atmosphere, I hope, for all of our games moving forward there. I already got family members and friends telling me they're picking sides for the Haven Interboro game, so
your family better be rooting for Interboro.
That's what I said.
Man, oh man, that's got to be rough, but it happens, man. And then you have Coach Clancy. How he never loses his cool. He just seems so calm on the sidelines, and it seems like he's been that way forever.
I still have yet to figure out how he calls a football game. I've watched like
millions.
I
Hundreds.
played obviously,
yeah,
but I've watched like 10, 15, 20 games that he's called, and I'm still trying to figure out where his mind goes on a 3rd and 7 if he wants to throw the ball, or is he going to just run the ball here, or is he going to run the counter crisscross?
Or try to draw you offside.
Is he going to go on the check go? Mm-hmm. Shout out to Coach Clancy on the check go, provided he still does that. I mean, I tried to actually mark down when he made certain calls, and he just doesn't. And he doesn't have a playbook in front of him. I got my whole sheet in front of me when I'm calling a defense. I don't really need it, but I still have it. And he doesn't even have a headset on. He just walks over, kid runs over, he has a play, he knows what he wants to do, he knows what the defense is doing and how to counter it throughout. So, like I said, I can teach them that offense in and out. It's a matter of discipline and whether or not you're going to be in the right spots to stop a kid like James Conner and Shane Green. Not James. James Fisher. Because James Fisher might be, one of the best running backs in the entire state at this point. I mean, that kid, catch, run. I mean, whatever you throw to him, that kid has an opportunity to score every time.
Well, hopefully he plays basketball this year. Love to have, because that's another thing. Now you have a multi-sport guys, or you have some basketball guys? Because new coach at Interboro basketball.
One or two basketball guys. I think Josh Lloyd plays. A few baseball players, Greg Ferrari and Greg Wrestles. Mikey McLaughlin played baseball. Some track guys here and there. That was the new thing. That was something new I had to get used to. I never want to tell kids not to play other sports. I played 3 sports in high school at the varsity level for a long time. But trying to get in the lifting and conditioning was a brand new world because at Imhotep, normally as soon as we finished, we got a month and then we started. And everybody was there.
Who'd you guys?
I'm trying to get them all in.
Who'd you beat in your 7-on-7s? I'm sorry. Yeah, I know you had 3 wins. Do you remember the teams you defeated?
Oh, that was the big guys up there. We were 1-3 in our 7-on-7s up there.
Okay. You beat a Delaware All-Star team?
No, they got us on that one, but we played like Newcastle. We lost by a point out of Pittsburgh.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
Malik Hooker.
Yeah.
They're not, it's funny. They produce a lot of D1 guys, but as a team, they don't do that. But still, it's a Whitfield school.
Yeah. So we lost by 1 point on a last play to them. So we were right there with them. Right. A Hickory team.
Oh, from Western PA.
So, yeah.
Oh, maybe they carpooled maybe because they're from the same area.
Hickory and a couple of other schools I'm blanking on the name of. We got a big win against one of them. We were in a lot of those games, so that's why I took the opportunity to bring them up there because they got a chance to learn and see what it is you're really going to be playing in the fall.
Throw it right in. You ought to check out Hickory. They're near Farrell, Sharon, that area out there. Yeah. I know very well. So you ought to see their facility. I saw on Twitter. I'm like, oh my! I just made a comment on it, even on Facebook. Hickory football, unbelievable facility. Aliquippa-Quip's got a beautiful facility. So and then
they deserve one.
They've been going through all this. They're trying to bump them up. I mean, it's crazy. I'm glad
it's a 2A school. They're just really, really good.
Yeah, exactly. Pat, thank you very much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Anything you want to say? Final words here?
Go Bucks.
All right. Thank you very much. Pat Fisher, appreciate it. First-year head coach, Interboro Bucks. Chester plays them this year. They play a tough schedule. Open up with Strathaven. It's going to be unbelievable. Leslie's filling in now. Quick, to close out the show here is board operator or producer, John Pierre. Thank you very much, all of our great sponsors. I'm Dave Berman. We'll see you next time on Delco Sports 360.